Hey everyone, Georgie here with Ukraine Matters. There's going to be a little bit of a channel update at the end of this video, but today I want to talk with you about the potential of Russians or Belarusians or Wagners attacking NATO. Because for some reason, a lot of people in both my community and on Twitter and everyone else just went mental about Lukashenko threatening to say that Wagner will attack Poland, then Putin saying that they will attack Poland, and I'm going to cover more of it in the other video. But generally speaking, what we need to understand is that with what? Because that's the kind of the question, like people get the headline and then after that no follow-up critical questions are asked. Because if at least one critical question is asked, that it becomes a non-statement, right? We don't even have to discuss it. That's why I was so surprised that it still appeared in the media's face, the discussion about the fact that something attacked Poland. We need to be very, very clear. There is only one threat to NATO countries that we should be, I don't say afraid of. Like, I've been very, very vocal saying that we shouldn't be afraid of anything. But if I would say one threat that we should be wary of is the nuclear threat. That's it, like full stop, period. Anything else is a non-threat to NATO. And Poland and Lithuania are NATO countries. More importantly, they're one of the most prepared NATO countries. So when we are discussing that potentially Wagnerites are gonna infiltrate Poland, Lithuania, whatever, we're talking the number of Wagner troops that are right now in Belarus, which is from any kind of measurements somewhere in between 2,000 to maybe 8 to 10,000 max. To put it in a perspective, that is pretty much nothing, right? 8 to 10,000 in Ukrainian, for example, scenario, they would be just defending about 50-kilometer line maximum. And if we're talking about, well, what kind of an aggressive potential they would have, well, okay, I'm imagining the scenario that we're talking about is that randomly one day, just unexpected, there's 10,000 troops just arriving on the Polish border, like appearing like apparently from nowhere, and they just start breaking through to the Polish capital. And like, then what? What is then? They're taking the capital. They are, you know, are they coming like on foot or on vehicles? Are they bringing tanks? So that whole setup is already kind of nonsensical. But I would really want to advise, point your attention towards the fact that when Ukrainian intervention, the full-scale invasion started, there has been months and months and months of build-up on the border just to get something done. Any aggression from Belarus, whether it's Wagner, whether it's Russia, whatever, firstly, instantly triggers the Article 5. And like, I can tell you that at least Baltics and Poland has been itching just to give any kind of excuse to trigger it. Because like Poland and the Baltics are very, very passionately supporting Ukraine from an open heart. So when you're saying that a 5,000 troop force will be able to break the border, like, okay, let's drop Poland because Poland's army is like massive and they're on massive rearmaments and so on. Let's take a weaker country. Let's take Lithuania. That means that they would not only would need to break through the border guards, not only they would need to break through all of the potential Lithuanian resistance, then they would be also need to kind of go around all of the bases and NATO powers that are containing US troops and other troops that are stationed in Lithuania as well. I'm not sure if US troops are actually in Lithuania, but other countries' troops as well. Then there is the fast-moving brigade of Poland. The long story short, it doesn't calculate. It's a nonsensical argument. The argument that 5,000 troops can achieve anything is just complete fairy tale. It's a non-starter. So I would really, really want everyone in my community, whenever you hear any kind of like claim or argument or anything else, like X is going to happen. Ask a question with what and what's next, to what purpose? Because not only there is nothing to start off this invasion, because there is no resources for that and there is no preparation for that, but more importantly, why? What is the purpose of it? And especially people were like, oh, but you know, like Suwalki Gap is so narrow. It's like 90 kilometers until the Russian exclave. Do you think everyone is stupid? Everyone knows it's a weak point. Poland knows it's a weak point. Lithuania knows it's a weak point. You know, and weak points, especially known weak points, are very well protected. If anywhere that, for example, like a random force that would materialize out of thin air would get some kind of resistance prepared on prepared positions and whatnot, that would be in the Suwalki Gap, like that narrow path between Kaliningrad and I believe Belarus, because it's very well known. It's a thing that has been analyzed, reanalyzed, and everything. Like, there has been war games discussing whether Baltic states can be overtaken by Russia. And they can, but the forces needs to be like hundreds of thousands. So I want you all to breathe out, chill, and understand that it's just a big propaganda narrative. As for content update, I decided to shift in a testing mode a little bit of a way that I'm delivering content. I will still do the map analysis. It's going to be 2 to 3 videos per week. But I will also do these smaller bite-sized pieces discussing very specific topics. Firstly, I believe it will help like to deliver the content a little bit better. And people have been complaining that my videos like that are happening like 2 to 3 times a week, they're just way too long. They have a lot of information in them, but they're just very, very long to watch. So instead, we're going to try to do these bite-sized. That means the same content will just going to get distributed. And more importantly, it will allow me to record some more like an ad hoc video, you know, just turn up the camera and record an opinion to some hot topic, so I don't have to wait to a bigger map update if I don't have a lot of other things to share. And most importantly, it will also help cross-reference the content. Sometimes like I'm referencing videos that I did before, and then, you know, there is like a video that discusses the map and like 3 other topics, and it's a little bit convoluted where exactly is the thing that I'm referencing. So instead, I want to try this approach. I'm going to do it for a month. We'll see how it works. In any case, I love you all, guys. Thank you for supporting this channel on Buy Me a Coffee. Thank you so much for supporting Ukraine. Trust in the armed forces of Ukraine. Everything will be fine. I love you, and I'll see you next time.